Please, enter. All are welcome.
While viewing the Coen brothers' extensive filmography, one can find a great deal of repetition throughout their films. The Coen brothers revel in the comedy that repetition creates. First, let us define comedy. Comedy, in Aristotle's classic definition, is created when a person laughs because the person understands a specific combination of rules, codes, values, and the law, and the pleasure derived from the imagination and creativity to manipulate said rules. The Coen brothers have supplied this rule by creating repetition and relying on the audience to be indulged by the space of suspension where the rules are revealed as rules, and thus causing laughter when they recognize a pattern of consistency and repetition. And thus we get oral repetitions, which could be considered in classic comedy definition a gag. Now, let's explore the word gag to the Coen brothers. A gag is something the Coens use a lot, where they supply the audience with specific forms of intrusions on narratives, creating microscopic narrative systems that are irrelevant to the larger narrative. They pull the gag through their creating a sense of structure with creating rules, or laws, which audiences recognize and laugh at. We can find the gag throughout their use of repetition in oral cases, or even situational instances. Raising Arizona is filled with the use of gags. It's a screwball comedy planting the idea that a criminal outlaw, H.I., and a police officer, Ed, are together in a relationship and involved in a caper of kidnapping a baby. In the opening sequence, the first 7.5 minutes before the title card, we get a voiceover done by Hi, as he's explaining about going from prison life to settling down into the salad days. During this voiceover, there's 2 repeated phrases that create comedy.
Don't forget his profile, Ed.
Turn to the right.
This son of a bitch.
Don't forget his phone call, Ed.
Turn to the right.
Don't forget his fingers, Ed. Don't forget the bouquet, Ed.
I do.
You bet I do.
Okay then.
Okay then. Okay then. Okay then.
In O Brother, Where Art Thou, 2001 hayseed epic film following a trio of escaped prisoners, Everett, Delmar, and Pete, as they journey through Depression-era Mississippi in search for a treasure they'll never find. In 2 instances in the film, there is the oral repetition used to create humor. Comedy ensues when he repeats the phrase,
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Just come on out and grab it in. And don't try nothing fancy. Your situation is putting out hopeless.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
What in the Sam Hill?
Pete's cousin turned us in for the bounty.
The hell you say?
Wallace is kin!
Sorry, Pete. I know we're kin, but they got this depression on. How I got to do for me and mine?
I'm gonna kill you, Judas Iscariot, hog weller, you miserable, horse-eating son of a...
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Damn his ass! Pa always said, never trust a hog weller. Come and get us, coppers!
Boys is leaving us no choice but to smoke you out.
Damn, we're in a tight spot.
Light her up!
Go on, boys. Now, ain't you ever heard of negotiating?
A few years later, the Coen brothers tackle an espionage thriller with 2008's Burn After Reading, where we follow a comedic satire on spy films and ensemble casting. 2 employees of a gym, Linda Litsky and Chad Fellheimer, become involved in a game of blackmail and secrets with Osborne Cox and Harry Farr. Through a series of car accidents, bloodied noses, dead bodies, and a CD disc containing Osborne's memoir that's going to be pretty explosive, we find comedy throughout the darkness of the world the Coens provide us with. A great example of their comedic use of oral repetition through dialogue is when Linda walks in on a meeting between Chad, their boss, Ted, and Manolo.
Heavy shit.
Is that my date list?
No, fuck.
You know, I'm trying to reinvent myself in these procedures, which are so incredibly nutty. What is that?
I can't believe this. This is like intelligent shit.
I'm not comfortable with
This is like, I can't believe this shit I'm seeing.
Manolo found it.
On the floor there.
Yeah, Manolo found like this CD just lying in a locker. Locker floor, ladies' locker.
Just lying there.
I'm like, what, someone's music or what? And I come in here, and it's these files, man.
I'm not comfortable with this.
Talking about SIG-int and signals and shit, and signals means code, you know?
He was just lying there.
Talking here about department heads and their names and shit. And then there's these other files that are just like numbers arrayed. Numbers and dates and numbers and numbers and dates and numbers and... I think that's the shit, man. The raw intelligence.
I'm not touching this. I want this out of here.
Just throw it out?
No, you can't do that. You should put up a note in the ladies' locker room.
Put up a note? Highly classified shit found? Signals intelligence shit? CIA shit? Hello? Did anybody lose their secret CIA shit? I don't think so.
Then the Coen brothers create a Hollywood film, Hail Caesar, where we follow Eddie Mannix in the world of Capitol Picture Studios. Another ensemble film with an all-star cast, we follow Eddie as he manages the lives of actors. In one particular scene where Hobie Doyle is being sent from the set of a cowboy picture to be on the set of a Lawrence Lawrence drama, we find this oral repetition.
Say your line exactly as I'm about to. Just as I'm about to do.
Sure, okay.
Would that it were so simple.
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 My dear boy, why do you say that? Why do you say twere?
Well, you should say it like I said it.
Yes.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple. Would that it were so simple.
Watch my mouth. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Keep your head still. Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were so simple.
Would that it were...
The Coen brothers have been noted as the masters of uncertainty, where they write to punish their viewers for making assumptions about the meaning and purpose of their films, as well as teasing their audiences by leading us in circles where we had hoped of a linear plot. The Coens create a rule, we hope for resolution, but then they manipulate the rule with their dialogue, plot devices, and character development. They've created a repetitive world, and them themselves have become the infamous
Repeat offender.
of the film world, nestling their place among others just nicely.